All right, everybody, welcome back to the show 32 Tots. I am so excited with the screen full for you audience members on YouTube. This is going to be a really fun show. Buckle up. And audience, listeners, uh you're going to be hearing and seeing a lot of faces in the chat today. I'm very excited to throw this around the horn with some intros. But we're going to stay with the OG Tot boys. We're going to get to those guys, and then we'll get to the guys who have had segments on the show that are repeat guests. I can't believe we can say this now, boys. We have repeat guests on the show. Like, we're getting to another level. But first, let's throw this over to our grad boy to start. Elijah, you are graduated and educated. What's going on, bud?
Yeah, so last few days been celebrating the graduation. Finally got it done, but I think I got to bring this into some light. Um, the school, let's just say the school mushed me a little bit. So last
Come on.
name, Armbruster, Elijah Armbruster, and I'll see if I can get the photo to show there. Elijah Sherwood. I don't know if that's showing or not, but it says Elijah Sherwood Armstrong. So
I'll pull it
big
up.
mush
I'll pull
there.
it up.
Yeah, you can pull it up. And
For
then
the-
also they mushed me on my honor roll. I qualified for the honor roll, and I guess their system was telling them or something that I had like a 60 in English for some reason,
Come on.
but I have no idea where they got that number from. So hold up the transcripts and they realized their mistake and it's a little too late, but
You're on a roll in all of our hearts, Felice. You're on a roll in all of our hearts, whether you were on the program, because that was a big thing for me going back in the time machine. That's a few years now, but being in the program and being on a roll, I get that. Your name in the bulletin. Oh man. We won't throw any names or education centers under the bus, right, Felice? We're
no,
above that on the pod.
no,
And you're
school's been great
graduated
to
from,
me
yeah, you're
other than
graduated
that
from
moment,
there.
but
We don't have to go back to that for you,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
Luke, we'll go to you and then Simeon. Luke, what's going on, man? You're excited for the show. We were buzzing in our pre-taught preheat sesh at lunchtime, right?
Yeah, kind of feeling like one of the insiders lately, just scrolling the Twitterverse, refreshing every 10 seconds. With all these trades going down, it's been a crazy couple days. Probably should go out and touch some grass, but until a few more break, I might have to keep scrolling.
All right. From one insider to another, Simeon, how's it going? Good to have you back and for the draft show. What's going on, man?
Also super excited. I've been trying to keep up on Instagram with my social media of choice, and that's been fun. I also graduated just a couple weeks ago. I don't know if that was my university grad. I don't know if I brought it up on the podcast before, but
I don't
Dude, we
yeah,
think you
got two
have no.
grad boys. Let's
that
go.
Wow.
mine went a little bit smoother. I thought they did a pretty good job, but
We
sorry to hear
love that
about
for
that,
you, not for
Felice.
Felice.
It's you know what, in like probably in like 2 weeks, it's already kind of funny to think about. So
Oh man. Okay, let's go in order of appearance. We'll go to you, Brado. And then we'll finish off with Puck Talk with Pete. Brado, good to see you. And you have a new setup in the background. You're going way back in the time machine with that. For you
I
audio listeners, we got the Toronto Arenas.
you know what? It was a freebie from my buddy that is one of my best friends in Elmira. So he his wife said he had too many jerseys, so I brought one of these home with me.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
That's a
good guy. Yeah, we've been to a couple games at the ACC and a couple playoff games. So yeah,
way to put some respect on his name. Appreciate it. And we're excited to have you locked in for the Leafs, the Toronto Maple Laughs Leaf Buzz.
oh, that's good. Every team has to have a fan, otherwise we have no league to watch and have fun with. So
Yeah, we're gonna get into that in a minute. So to finish off the finale, Pete, good to have you back on. We talk lots about draft, and you might have a draft story for a concluding thought at the end of the show. We've been waiting as the audience for this. No pressure, bud. It's really good to see you back, though.
I do have a draft story. I'm excited to tell it, and I'm even more excited just to be here because I love the NHL draft so much, and getting to talk about it with you guys, I think it's gonna be awesome. So yeah,
Yeah.
super pumped to be here.
Yeah, this is great because we've never had a screen full like this. We actually have the extra attacker on, and this is like we have six. We're playing six men on the ice. This is unreal. Goalies pulled. But just because this is something a lot of people have felt on the podcast is that you come on and then you might have a little bit of a surprise, right? So I'm going to admit a new member to the chat. Bringing on somebody who I've mentioned on the podcast before, who's making his first appearance. We have none other from the simulator game between Emilio Estevez, James Bond. We are going to be bringing on John Hamm. And so this actually puts us over the cap, but this is very fitting, boys, because we're going to get into off-season activities. And this is going to be a move like Czechia right now. We're going to be doing a move like Czechia. We have too many men on the ice, and we actually have a Czech defenseman to talk about. So I'm really happy to have Mr. John Hamm. And John, it's so good to see you after the golf classic that was with your team. And so nobody knew this besides me and Elijah because I've been working the phones. And so, boys, you're gonna have to get your your draft boards reset because John Hamm just got traded into the draft board for Calgary.
Wow.
So Felice slots back a slot. And so for the listeners, for the viewers, we'll pull up our board in a little bit, which is going to be fun. But John, really glad to have you on. Do you want to clarify for the whole audience and so I don't mush your name? You are not John Hamm. You're John
Gray.
John Gray.
Color, yeah.
And so this is your first time on. Thank you for being my ambush material for everybody, because now everybody, I'm in their head. And I was actually supposed to be first in our draft order. And now I'm announcing already so the boys can start thinking about it. The first overall pick in our draft order in the mock draft of the 2026 32 Tots mock draft has been traded from none other than James Ryan to Braden Friesen for the 3rd and the 11th pick. So, switch your boards up. Everybody doesn't know what's going on anymore. But if your name is not Braden and your name is not Elijah and your name is not John, then none of your picks have changed. So, and I was working the phones and having some fun with some off-season activities. But John, since we have you on, and you're the Flames guy, not to put you on the spot, but we're going to start off the top because we have too many men on the ice here, just like the Olympics with the Czechia squad. You got a Czech defenseman for your Threads now. How do you feel?
Isn't he Slovak?
I might have mushed him.
He's real Slovak. Yeah.
That's okay. Yeah, I was surprised by that trade. That's for sure.
What was that?
I was surprised by that trade. I didn't think they're going to do something like that. I was more anticipating them moving a defenseman to trade up in the draft.
Trading off one of their guys, like maybe a White Cloud that they would have got for Rasmus Anderson, if memory serves me right.
Yeah, package him and, something else to go, like, because San Jose, my whole thought was San Jose needs D bad.
Yeah.
Could they packaged somebody else move up? So I don't think that's happening anymore. But I think it's a fair trade, though.
Yeah.
When you look at it, you get.
Yeah. No, I'm thinking like you remind me a little bit of a puck mover. Can I put some respect on your name when it comes to the way we play on Tuesday nights? And do I try to say when you are rushing the ice and then you are actually putting some pressure on that, like he's gonna miss the net, he's gonna miss the net. Like I don't know. You can clarify with your own stat trick, but I like to bug you. But do you like to move it, John? You like to move it?
Yeah, I don't mind skating a little bit here and there.
A little bit, a little bit. I'd say a little bit more than a little bit. You're a humble guy. You're a humble guy. Okay, source can confirm he is Slovakian, so I'm doing it the Czechoslovakian. I think that they should reconnect and have a super team, but that's a side quest. Let's get back to the main quest. So let's get through some of these, and then John, it's good to have you on. We're excited. We just did a little bit of the intros. If you wouldn't mind to just end that off before we move off the Nemec talk, and then Brado, we're gonna queue you up for some Raddysh talk, which is gonna be some gonna be some fun connection, especially what just happened with Chicago. But let's keep thinking. John, what brought you to cheering for the Calgary Flames Threads and not being a Prairie proud boy, also like Braden, and moving to the West instead of the East, like he did?
Oh, that's a very good question. I really don't know. My best assumption is there was no Jets, and I used to actually put the pads on when I was little. So my best guess is a Kippersoft connection. So
Oh, nice,
yeah,
nice.
like
And
every
and Kip,
goalie did.
yeah, and Kipper, if memory serves me right, I think they traded like maybe a fifth to seventh round pick for him. Like they
It
traded
was gross.
absolute
It was
peanuts.
gross.
I feel like
San
he could
Jose
pull it off.
Sharks. San Jose Sharks got fleeced.
He's
But
a
at
backup goalie or something too. He was.
but at
I
the
think he was third.
time,
I think he was third string. He was like the modern Hasek, right? Hasek was like
yeah,
a Chicago like
that's a
fourth
good comp.
stringer.
That's a good comp. Yeah. But all things said, like they had Nabokov, and we were
Yeah,
talking with a guy at the
good
tee
goalie.
box, Luke, if you remember that. We were talking with a buddy at the tee box. I can't remember his name. I'll have to talk to him twice, but he's a big San Jose fan, and his origin thought was that he liked Nabokov, Evgeny Nabokov. So all things being the full circle, and like the Tots behind me, trying to bring it back full circle. So we have our off season, and listeners, viewers, it's hard to keep track of all of this. So I've kind of given each member of the team a little bit of an off season quest to just highlight. And so, John, thanks for rattling that one off with Nemec. We're going to move over to Raddysh and Brado. How are you feeling with some of the off season activities, even going into the draft?
Well, you know what? I can tell you right now that I'm feeling good. My wife, she'll be sleeping by the time this is over, and she says, "Hot shot."
What's that?
She said, "Good night, Tot shot."
Touch.
I was like, "She's in."
Yeah.
Court behind me, so I can't be doing better here. Segue of goalies and Kipper, a snub for Cujo this year in the Hockey Hall of Fame. I'll
That guy
just say that.
keeps getting snubbed, eh?
Well, I don't know.
Pecorine. Had to have Pecorine in there, hey?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm with you.
It is what it is. But no, Darren Raddysh. First question is, I mean, some people have talked about why is Tampa getting rid of him. I mean, I think his market value was higher, and he could just get that elsewhere.
Yeah.
And like some people are like, well, what does Tampa know that we don't? And I think it's as simple as that. I think last year he did a phenomenal job filling in for the whole of a guy like Victor Hedman on the power play and other things. And so he was given an opportunity and he stepped up. Late bloomer, that's fine. 30 years old, no problem. And so my question is, there's trade talk about Morgan Riley going somewhere.
Yeah.
And in reality, with where the cap's going, percentage of the cap and Raddysh are going to be at the same percentage. And so, well, who do you want? Do you want Raddysh or Riley? And it seems like Leafs obviously are moving in the direction they want a bit more of a big shot, which they haven't had since maybe even Brian McCabe. Who knows? I mean, I would say
That's a good one.
Good callback.
Dion
Love it.
Phaneuf definitely had a big shot back there, but he might have been past his prime. So I would say, I mean, that's a win. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe you're paying a bit high. Getting that anywhere.
Yeah.
Just got out. for a 5th rounder, which Carolina had 0 5th rounders on their squad. I looked up today. I mean, 3 undrafted guys, but no 5th rounders. A lot of firsts, a lot of seconds, couple thirds, couple fourths. And so I like the trade for the Leafs. I don't think there's anything wacky going on behind the scenes. No conspiracy theories why Tampa got rid of him. I think it's as simple as business. And hey, if he wants to be in Toronto, we want people that want to be here. It's the same as the Jets, same as a lot of teams.
Yeah.
Someone actually wants to be there and wants to play and incorporate and be in a team. And that's what I would say with the direction Toronto's heading. I would say they've taken at least a decent sized step towards getting to a Carolina team like unity and thinking about, okay, how do we build as a team? Because skill is there, but how do you make the most out of it? And so one last comment on that is Barry Trotz said about Jim Hiller. He's a team guy. He's a progressive thinker. And he also said anytime you go to a new team, it's a chance to start over, to learn, to grow. And so I'm gonna give them some faith and give them some time to get going this year.
No, that's a good one with the coach talk. Though the one thing that I want to segue to you, Pete, is when Brado said something about if he wants to be here and he wants to sign here, it's like Toronto, it's like Winnipeg. And we had the biggest story, I feel, out of this whole list coming out of Ottawa. But a lot of we'll get to the Cat-chuk Brothers. But the primer. Pete, can I throw this over to you of what Zito has been just like throwing around, and like that guy was working the phones as hard as I was before this draft preview show. No offense, everybody. I was working, and did I give everybody full leeway to trade their picks? Probably not. So that's me being the host of the show and working the phones. Though to you, Pete, the Florida architecture, to you.
Where do you start with Florida, right? Like, I mean, obviously 3 times in a row, cup final, 2 cups in a row. They have, their captain and the best 2-way center in the league, Barkov, gets hurt, and they have the season they had. And what do they do off that? Like, they go get Brady Tkachuk. They're apparently in on Connor Helle-buzz. Not sure if they're as in on him now after getting Tkachuk. By the way, Braden, you're no 5th rounders on Carolina. Do you know who was a 5th round pick? Connor Helle-buzz. Side note, park that. Yeah. But yeah, as far as Tkachuk goes, like the Florida angle, I mean, we know the advantages they have, right? They've won recently. They've got an aggressive GM. Apparently, if your name is Bill and you're a GM, you're an aggressive guy. Between Billy G and Minnie and Bill Zito in Florida. Don't cross Bill Zito. He will rip your head off. That's the kind of guy he is, but he's also wicked smart. So yeah,
smart cat.
Yeah, no tax state, great weather, winning culture. Everyone wants to be there. Every single, like, talk about no trade list being in Winnipeg. Like, Florida's, I'm sure, on 0 no trade lists. They're on everyone's. I want to play. Like, they could have 75 guys playing on that team.
They're on the demand a trade list. They're on the demand a trade list.
Please send me to Florida. Dylan Larkin's
Florida
like,
and
please
Vegas.
Send me to Florida. Yeah, and totally in Vegas. So yeah, I mean, so when you get a team that everyone wants to play for, that's a contender perennially, and then you get, suddenly Brady Tkachuk, brother of Matthew, U.S. Olympic connection, obviously. They win gold. All these U.S., I'm sure we'll talk about this later, all these Americans between, Larkin, Helle-buzz allegedly, Brady Tkachuk, maybe Zach Werenski. They all want to go play on their friend's team, their brother's team, whoever's team, right?
The secret group chat they got going.
Yeah, I was listening to Spit and Chicklets the other night, and in Biz is like, release the group chat. Let's see the group chat, right?
Somebody's got to hack into that and release it, just like
that'd be unbelievable.
The other stuff.
Little tampering going on, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Hey, is it tampering if it's the guys instead of, like, if it's the agents and the GMs? Obviously, it's tampering. I don't know if is it tampering if it's chatting with the boys. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
No, that's not tampering. They're just trying to figure out how to win something again together because they had such a good time.
totally.
Felice, did you want to speak to that?
I was gonna say, you know who could leak it, James? Cheryl could leak it.
Yeah, Cheryl could get away with that. Cheryl Pounder is
Cheryl
our
Pounder.
hockey mother from
Yeah.
NHL. If
Yeah.
you guys didn't know that,
Legend.
now you know that. So
Legend. But it's like, I think the Ottawa angle obviously deserves a lot of time and attention. Like, you know, similar to what we see here in Winnipeg and kind of the small market, what would you say, like the anxiety that we have around guys wanting to be here. We've seen so many times guys wanting to leave Winnipeg, unfortunately. And with Ottawa, there's been these rumors about Brady for a while now, especially in the last, few months. And Ottawa fans have been pretty sensitive about it. Understandably, he's their captain. He's probably one of their top 2 or 3 players, right? With Sanderson and Timmy Stutz.
yeah. Yeah.
And then they, suddenly, like, there wasn't that much noise around him, right? People have been talking about other players, and suddenly Tkachuk's dealt to Florida. And not that they didn't get a lot for him, like they got the 9th pick. I think they got a late first this year. I don't think it was Florida. I think it was like 26th pick or so.
Yeah.
They got a
25th.
25th. Okay. They got a 2029 first. They got a 2030 second. Where the NBA suddenly, where we're doing picks 3-4 years in the future, right? So they got like decent set of assets, but like I think when an Ottawa fan looks at that and says like, we were hoping for Lundell, we were hoping for I mean, Lundell's probably the main guy, right?
Yeah.
Obviously that's not coming back. I think it's a tough look, even though those are valuable assets.
Yeah.
But when you're the Sens, you made the playoffs 2 years in a row. You've got kind of that good young core. You want to sort of build up and try to take the next step. I don't know how excited fans were to see just picks come back, and I don't want to take the thunder of whoever wants to talk about the Eklund deal, but
Ooh.
like that obviously, like just like the Samoskevich deal is a precursor to the Tkachuk deal, the Tkachuk deal ends up being a precursor to the massive Eklund deal.
Yeah, yeah, we're gonna get to that one, but John, can I bring you into the chat as a Flames guy, if I may? Because this is for our Senators fans, very reminiscent in the time machine to when Matty Boy got traded out of Calgary. Was that something for you, in your opinion, when you look back on it as a Flames fan? And maybe I'm putting you on the spot. Did you like the package at the time? Or if you could choose now, and we're playing revisionist history, and this is something that I like to play tinfoil hat fun times with the boys, usually when we're not recording. But would you rather take a package of futures?
Looking now in that trade, yeah, futures. Hubert was a boat anchor.
Yeah, that was tough. Now
So,
he was Barkov's running mate now, and
yeah,
that was misassessed. Hey,
yeah, Barkov definitely carried him. But it's also, you look at it, any decent GM would be like, oh crap, 115 points. Like, if he regresses by 30%, that's still a point per game guy.
yeah,
So you don't just lose that kind of talent. Like, you have to have talent to still get goals off Barkov. Barkov's good. In that sense, yeah, I would want futures on that because they should have done more of a rebuild at that point, because that's when they, sent Tuch and then sent Gaudreau and Tuch off, and then Markstrom went shortly thereafter, and then Lindholm not too long after that. Like, they basically blew up the team, and Hubert was weighing them down.
and Huberdeau is just kind of hanging around, and then they just moved off Uyghur last year. He was a part of that trade too, if memory serves me right.
Yeah, I wasn't too happy with the Uyghur move. You should have kept him.
Yeah, he seems like a good culture guy.
Good culture. He's a good player too.
Yeah, yeah.
Nasty in fantasy.
Yeah. I like that. John, thanks for the perspective from the former Flames brokenhearted. You're not alone now. Flames fans, Ottawa fans can join you in the Tkachuk. We don't want to play for a Canadian market. Tkachuk said all the right things in front of all the cameras, and I'm not like here to be like hypercritical. I think he said the right things, but I think everybody could probably inject with truth serum, like, yeah, he wants to play in the United States, and who wouldn't want to play with their brother? Who wouldn't? Like, I don't know. I would if that
on a personal level, though. It changes. having a kid.
Yeah. 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 That's a
Now
good.
to be in a winning team with your brother and your family and raise your kid. Oh, I actually want to raise my kid in the States.
Yeah.
So I'm not re-signing in Ottawa.
Yeah.
What happened to the captains that used to come in the league, get drafted by a team, and carry that team and want to be a part of that team to win a cup, and now they're wanting to move on, like Brady and Tavares. These people, like there's no more Crosbys and Ovechkins that want to lead a team. Larkin, moving on. So, what's going on?
John, you bring up such a good idea, and I want to talk about this a little bit, and then throw this over to you, Luke, because you got the Eklund prime. Though there is this zeitgeist would be a word that I'd use within the new player, is that I think if I were to like kind of assess it, it's maybe like a little generational, a little bit of this and a little bit of that to get quick returns on investment. Though I think guys know now how hard it is to win. Because John, I'm just going to connect with you off the bat. For a guy who built Calgary and was my origin taught of cheering for was Jerome McGinley, and how he dedicated his life and his career to the city of Calgary, even though he was an Edmonton boy, which if you look at his story, though he dedicated that and they got to the cup final once, and I'm not ready to talk about that because then me and Simeon are gonna start fighting about our colors and our threads. But I think guys know now, and with more teams, it's really hard to win. And if you really do want to win, I think you got to make your own path. It's very hard to leave that in the GM, uh, to leave your faith in the GM. That takes a lot of trust and a lot of faith in yourself as a player. And this could be just like a little bit of a side thing, but maybe these players are a little bit not secure in that they would actually be able to win on their own. So they have to join somebody else. That's that's a hot thought maybe. But is Tkachuk really a guy who's going to drive and be a Stanley Cup winning captain? I don't think so. I think he's a complementary piece on a winning team. That's that's maybe that's hot, maybe it's not. Luke, if you want to respond to that, or let's get to the Eklund news because I've had you primed, and this is like going from Brado to Pete. We're just snapping the puck talk around here. I'm loving it, boys. This is great.
Yeah, going around the horn. Ottawa made some quick work with that ninth overall pick and ended up shipping it over to the Sharks for Eklund and a couple prospects. And honestly, I really like the fit for Eklund. He'll hop into that top six immediately. He's a younger guy, still got some potential. Um, his two-way game is also quite impressive. I was kind of looking at it a bit under the hood, and he was really solid on that Sharks team who has just a lot of all-out offense. So that kind of stuck out to me. He's not going to have the same like physicality or goal scoring ability that Tkachuk might have, but I think he can bring a similar impact to the squad. Um, yeah, and he's still got team control for a couple years on the contract, and he'll end that as an RFA. So, um, some team control for Ottawa, I think is important as you saw a guy like Tkachuk just get shipped out. So, and also good, I think, for the Sens locker room, kind of leave some of those distractions behind. And, um, I mean, the guys probably aren't too excited about that ninth overall pick. So, getting some immediate help for that, um, I'm sure kind of feels good for the boys, but also like what the Sharks did. Eklund, he was kind of expendable with all of that talent that they had, and I think this really opens up their draft pick. I think they can now go for a guy like Stenberg and don't have to maybe take one of those demon at the top. Um, so seeing Stenberg and Celebrini together would be a nasty duo. I think Eklund's one of the more NHL ready guys in the draft this year, so I think he could hop in right away. And maybe a spicy Todd if the Sharks want to move second overall and the ninth overall. Maybe a couple other guys they could go get a Jason Robertson.
Zach
I don't
Werenski.
know, Zach Ransky maybe something to watch for. Um,
Stop. This is too much.
I heard Matthews. A little toss over to Braden.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe a Matthews, but yeah, I feel like the Sharks got a lot of options now, and also helps the Sens in their rise in the standings and kind of fits their age range of those Sanderson and Stützle a little more. So, but yeah, I think it should be good for both squads.
I like something that you said there, Luke, with security, because he's got some security with him and some term, and that's gonna go into the next one that I have here, Simeon. We're gonna be vibing about Chicago getting some term, getting some security. But Simeon, I labeled this in our group chat as the Chicago Brain Buster Byram, Bowen Byram. That's the Brain Buster Bowen Byram. I've listened to a couple other puck talk shows. I'm not alone in this. I don't understand this, but do you want to give the particulars on this, Simeon? It's a little bit outside your jurisdiction in the Southeast, but we're bringing you Northeast with this one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm honored to be covering this trade because boy, is it a doozy. So the trade was Bowen Byram and Jordan Greenway to Chicago, getting some roster pieces to support Connor Bedard. That's the idea. Although not really major supports on Bedard's line, which is what he really needs. Um, but then what are they giving up for that? They're giving up the fourth overall pick in this draft. How often do you see a top five draft pick getting traded? Like
2008.
that's
2008 was
2008's
the
the
last one,
last
Luke?
one.
Islanders traded it, yeah.
Crazy, crazy. And then also the 45th overall pick, which is still like a second, like mid-second round pick, which is solid pick. And then Louis Crevier. So Buffalo is getting some serious draft capital, and Chicago is getting a former fourth overall pick who's kind of shown that he's not going to be elite. Like he's just not looking like an elite guy. Maybe a change of scenery will help, but he's already changed scenery once before from Colorado to Buffalo. So yeah, like I think there's no signs of him all of a sudden becoming like that true like elite number one D that you'd kind of hope if you're get if you're trading a fourth overall pick. Um, so very shocking trade.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
I
to say the
I
least.
yeah, I think a takeaway from this for me too is what are GMs valuing this draft at? Because are they thinking this is a weak draft then, like to be able to give up a pick so high for a rather unremarkable player, or is it genuinely just a horrible, horrible trade with no logic? That's how I see
I
it.
I
Yeah.
don't think it's I don't think it's horrible.
No,
No,
okay.
Braden, because I actually wanted you in on this one because I actually thought a little bit about you, and not to bring this back, everything comes back to the Leafs. Like we're not that network, so we're gonna like pump the brakes on that one. But Braden, what Toronto paid to get their defenseman as a sign and trade, and what
Yep.
Chicago traded for their defenseman, that is completely different capital, like as investments, and maybe different players because Byram is, I think, a tad younger, and he was drafted in a
Five,
top five. What do
yeah.
you think?
Well, he's 5 years younger. I just quickly looked at his stats. He was over +10 the last 2 seasons. Here's the kicker, and this is why I think about certain things. He played all 82 games 2 years in a row. Health. And so now if you think about trading the fourth, as a D man, your first person's Chase Reed. Who would you rather have? Byram or Chase Reed?
In the
At
moment,
this point, if you're Chicago in the moment, you're for sure wanting Byram. And so I think he adds stability as probably your 2 or 3. Like he's either your second man on D or your top second pairing guy. I think he can fit that.
It's a great
And
point
I
on the
think he's up
health.
for it.
Great point on the health, Brain, because didn't he have concussion issues a few years ago?
yeah, I think you're right,
Hmm.
Pete. Yeah,
Speed a bit.
Yeah, I actually put in my notes injury prone potentially. So there's, yes, the last 2 seasons, 82 games. And then before that, his most during 5 seasons was 55 games. He had like a 19 game, a 30 game, a 42 game, and 18 game. So some serious injuries early on in his career. But, at the end of the day, recent sample is going to be more accurate to the current condition of the player. It's just he's not immune to injury, that's for sure.
Yeah, and Crosby had his years too, right? Where he had his head challenges, and they finally kind of got that dialed in, and then all of a sudden he was just locked
Dave
in.
Steckel special right there
Yeah,
at the Winter Classic.
Yeah, what a guy. I forgot about that, Pete. That guy will live in infamy, hey? And I don't think he meant to do it.
No, I don't think he did either.
No, he was a digger player, but he wasn't dirty
Yeah.
from what
No, he was not. He was not. Incidental contact.
Yeah, what I remember from Steckel. But I wanna throw this over because you've been waiting the most patient out of all of us. Felice, you got the Washington Capitals coming out of maybe the Ovechkin era. We don't know yet. Nothing's been announced. I feel like he's coming back. If he hasn't said anything to this point, I think he's coming back for some more fun. But Elijah, we got lots going on for Washington. Do you want to break that down?
All right, so the Washington Capitals here making a not a very small trade at all
No.
for Jordan Kyrou, giving up Connor McMichael, Milton Gastrin, and the 2021 first overall pick. You guys got to remind me. What pick did they have in the draft?
21st?
Was it
2026.
16 or 15?
16.
Yeah.
This year, though. Yeah.
Yeah, 2026.
Yeah,
I might have mushed that. But
No, that's all right. It's a mush middle pick.
yeah, you know
had
what?
to do
Mush middle
this.
pick, mush middle draft. I don't know much about Milton Gastrin. I think he's kind of still up and coming, right? Or
Proven it. Connor
Yeah, he's
McMichael is the
yeah,
big
but Connor
one.
McMichael is the big one. I was actually taking a look at it. Him and Kyrie put up the same stats or same points this year, 46. Uh, Jordan Kyrou did end up with a few more goals. So we'll see
A few more tucks, if you will.
tucks. Put up 18. I'd like to hear Alex Ovechkin's thoughts on these trades personally, not really sure what the Capitals have been looking to move forward with this year, but this is a bit of an insight.
Yeah, do you down the middle now have Kyrou, PLD, Pierre-Luc Dubois, Plywood Lumber Drywall Center, and who else is in
Dylan Strome.
Oh yeah, Strome had a good year. That's a good one, Pete.
Mm-hmm.
I think
That's
Kyrou's not a right winger though, hey?
Kyrou's a winger, yeah.
Always winger. I completely messed that up. I thought he was a winger center, but is he right or left?
Right.
Okay. Oh,
He's got speed.
Yeah, I think
heir apparent. No, he's no Ovechkin.
they're really hoping for Kyrou to have a bounce back year. I think they kind of looked at his value was a bit lower, but they still did pay a solid amount for him. But after only coming off of 46 points, you're really hoping for him to have a bounce back year here.
Yeah, and they weren't done in the winger department either, Felice. They went out, and today that we're recording, it's the 24th. So when this drops in your feed, we could have crazy trades yet that have broke. But yeah, one of the guys that was kind of being dangled as probably the big UFA, the biggest one to hit the market, he's off. He's traded from Buffalo. You wanna give
Alex, yeah. Alex Tuch. Personally, I've always been a huge fan of him for my fantasy teams. I always felt like he dropped quite low. Bit of a underrated player. Love to see him picked up. Buffalo, I'm not sure how they're gonna be feeling after this season, after coming off of the playoffs, but hopefully their GMs can make some bounce back trades and get a few players back, because I don't know, I think I think they're gonna need it.
Yeah, and who's
I got a little pushback on Alex Tuch. He's kind of a speedier winger, like good fit for Washington off the rush last year. They were the worst ranked team in the league, so I think adding Tuch and Kyrou adds a lot of speed for them, which will be good. But I do think Tuch's the type of guy, like not a super high hockey IQ and kind of relies on his legs a lot and doesn't usually trend to age as well into the later 30s. So
when
I
the
feel
speed
like,
dips? When the speed dips, you mean Luke? Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
I
Big
feel
guy
like
like that.
long 8-year deal.
I feel like as the contract ages might fall off a bit. So not entirely sure it fits into Buffalo's window here, but I'm expecting Buffalo to stay busy. So we'll see what else comes out from it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and with the salary cap going up, who knows how this one will age, how Alex Tuch will age. So I'm really curious to see how this one ends up going.
Yeah, no, that's a good point, Felice. With the aging and yeah, you aren't the Cat-chuk Brothers, but you're the Armbruster Brothers. So we appreciate you guys going with that one because the foot speed and all of that. Yeah, I think they're definitely still in. Let's keep pushing now. If Ovi is still coming back, like I think they're still gonna push as long as he's around, and I don't think those players are in the immediate gonna be costing them. Um, just in the salary cap, but I think they're fine in that department. Um, Boys, that was quite the around of the horn with the off-season trade activities and draft. Now we're gonna set up the draft board after the break. We're gonna take a quick break and we'll come back and we'll set up the mock draft. All right, welcome after the break. This is what you've been waiting for. This is the 32 Tots 2026 mock draft. So the way this is going to go, this will be going up on your screen, is that we are each going to be picking for a specific team in the first round. We're going to go in a bit of an order to try and make it as fair as possible. Though, like I said earlier, I was working the phones and drafts picks have been traded and you'll see a few changes, just like all the crazy offseason movement that we just went over. So we're gonna start this. So just like the theme music that'd be cued right now, and I'm not Gary Bettman. I don't want to get booed, but I'm gonna be picking on behalf of the Toronto Maple Leafs and wearing the threads is none other than Braden Friesen. You are on the clock, Brado. You're on the clock.
On the clock, Matt Sundin, John Chaika. Sundin's a guy who cares about the Leafs. He's Swedish. Going Gavin McKenna.
Lock it in with the first
We are
pick.
locking in draft pick 2026. Gavin McKenna. He's out to prove people wrong. I think he has slightly better vision on the ice than Stenberg will. I'm not going to say he's going to turn out to be a better player, but I think
Nobody
he'll be
knows.
more of a face of a franchise as a backup plan if Matthews goes. I think he can complement Matthews significantly. And so I think they go north and they take someone who can handle the tundra in Toronto.
Ooh, that's a good comp. Yeah, being a Yukon boy, he can handle the temp and the Scandinavians. It's not that much different, right? But Brado, I want to put you on the spot here, and this is where the line has been set at for McKenna's 2026-2027 points. Over under 60 points in his rookie season.
Jim Heller, defensive coach. If he's on the he can break the number one power play, he is, but if he can't, he's not. He's under.
Yeah. No, I think you're probably hugging the fence too much. I'm gonna say no. The last rookie to do something like that was Macklin, and that guy is That guy is legit. I don't. McKenna is not Macklin Celebrini. Let's just be honest in this draft. But you know what? This is out to you, McKenna, Gavin McKenna. Prove us wrong at 32 tots. We
We
have,
want you.
yeah, we want. You know what? Yeah. Oh, thanks, Braden. That's good. Okay, we're locking it in. Number one, Gavin McKenna is off the board. So we're going to number two. Second pick belongs to Puck Talk Pete on behalf of the San Jose Sharks. You're on the clock.
Yeah, and I mean, I think like Mike Greer's going to do on Friday, I'm running to the podium and taking Ivar Stenberg. Some of his, I know sometimes when you comp European players, they're like, who's a Swedish player that's like him? And that's kind of the talk I've heard from the athletic prospect boys like Pronman and Wheeler. And the comps I've heard are Lucas Raymond, and in a best case scenario, I've even heard Henrik Zetterberg. I don't know if he's going to get there. I mean, Zetterberg is unbelievable, but he's certainly like high skill, like sounds like he could be a point of game guy. He's got really good compete. That's kind of, I mean, I think McKenna is the most skilled player in the draft, no question. But Stenberg, I think, is also very skilled with better compete, better two-way game. So I think the Sharks are overjoyed to get Stenberg at 2. And I think a lot of talk was that Reed might go 2 initially. And I think with that Eklund deal clearing out a top 6 winger spot, a lot of people are expecting now that they'll go with Stenberg, and could be a great running mate for Celebrini or Misa, or both at different times. So I think they're delighted to get him there.
Yeah, no, that's good. In a Viking comparison, we got Ivar, right? Ivar? Yeah, Ivar Stenberg is off the board. Okay, we're moving along here. Wow, this draft's going a lot quicker than the usual. But as I said earlier, the first overall that I got through the draft lottery was traded to Braden Friesen for the number 3 pick, and also the number 12 pick. So at number 3, we have myself picking on behalf of the Vancouver Canucks. Our Manitoba Moose alma mater, for those of you in the time machine going back, and the affiliation with the 204, have to make the connection. Yeah, there you go. For the visual audience, we got the moose in the background. And this is going to be a bit of a family circle Tot connection. On behalf of the Vancouver Canucks, I pick Caleb Malhotra. And we just had the replacement of the head coach in the Vancouver Canuck lands with his dad, Manny Malhotra, if memory serves me right. He's stepping into the coaching gig there. And so they take Caleb. And just giving some credit where credit is due, the Hockey News has been my big source in this mock draft preview. And interesting best case scenario for Caleb Malhotra's career, and this is what the Hockey News has pegged him as. And Simeon, you'll love this one. And Anthony Cirelli. That's the comparison, which is interesting as a best case scenario. Which good 200-foot game, a center that's going to be dependable. Is he your number 1 getting a cup? No, you would hope that Pettersson can figure his stuff out, but being a good complementary piece. And being a good example, being a good pro as a son of a pro is the Vancouver Canucks selection to lock it in as Caleb Malhotra. That brings us to 4. And so picking 4th overall on behalf of the Buffalo Sabres, we have Luke. You're on the clock.
Yeah. So Yarmo's been buzzing. Not only once, but twice now has he ruined a Chicago Blackhawks rebuild. If you don't remember, he traded Seth Jones there with that $9.5 million contract. He just sent Bowen Byram over there, who's reportedly wants 12.5 to 13 million. So big moves by Yarmo, and I'm gonna come out swinging on this pick. I'm taking Vigo Bjork. Vigo's my guy.
Wow.
I think he's got the best hockey IQ in the draft. He's got a bit of a shorter frame, which he may slip on draft day because of that. But I think he's got a lot of like Zach Benson, Logan Stankoven in his game. Um,
Shoot your
just a
shot,
really
Luke.
smart hockey player, and um, yeah, I'd be happy if he gets to that 204 pick, but I feel like he's been rising lately, and by the end of the year on his SHL team, he was playing top line center for them in a men's league, so pretty impressive. The U20s he dominated. Then he capped his year off at the World Championships, which I was able to watch a lot of his game, and 6 points in 8 games. He was beating Ryan O'Reilly in the draws. He was stealing the puck from elite NHL players. So I'm swinging big. I think he's pretty close to NHL ready already. I could see him even in like a sheltered third line role next year. But I'm going Vigo.
Wow, so that's rising from 12 on Hockey News Board. And if you didn't hear the comp already on Vigo, Swedish Suzuki is what they're dubbing him, Swedish Suzuki, which as a comparable, and Suzuki, very responsible player. Fifth overall on behalf of the New York Rangers. Simeon, who's your pick? You're on the clock.
All right. Well, I first want to just say I was honestly, once we got to pick number 4, I was thinking, okay, there's a very good chance I'm still gonna have my guy for pick 5, which was Vigo Bjork. I was planning on picking him at number 5, and I knew he was also a bit of a reach, but no, I was liking a lot of the things that Luke was saying. You know, he has some experience in big leagues and in the SHL, and yeah, like he's just a solid guy to get. So with him off the table, I think the Rangers are really happy to see Chase Reed still undrafted at this point. So I'm going with Chase Reed, number 5, a player that maybe I didn't put as much prep into because I was thinking there's a good chance he's already gone by the time it gets to me. But looking at his stats here, like last year in the OHL, 48 points in 45 game played, 18 goals, 30 assists. For a defenseman, it's pretty great. Right-handed D, big guy, all things all teams are really looking for. Rangers maybe aren't looking for the D as much as they are looking for some more quality offense, but with a guy as talented as him, you just got to pick talent. And player comp I've seen is Zach Werenski. So I mean, yeah, I mean that's a high bar to hit. I'm not saying he's gonna get there, and I don't think people are saying that. But a really solid guy with a lot of potential.
I'm
So
in,
Rangers picking him number 5.
I'm interested, Simeon. You got some good. Luke pulled a rug from under you, and did we expect anything less between your and Luke's relationship on the podcast? No, we fully expected that. That was great. But it's interesting you have the Zach Werenski comp. I'm not sure what your source is, and I'm not questioning it. That seems like that's high ceiling. The best case that I had in some of my notes was a Noah Dobson, which seems like a very, very different tier of defenseman. I haven't watched a lot of his game, so I'll
and
plead ignorance. So
and the comp I heard was less of like he's a Zach Werenski talent level and more just play style.
play style,
Similar
yeah,
to Zach Werenski. Yeah.
that's fair. That's fair.
I'd seen that as well.
Yeah.
All right, all right. Hey, thanks for picking on behalf of New York and Chase Reed. Look out, being a Michigan boy going out to New York. Hopefully they don't ruin you, and if they do, then they ship you off to Carolina, and then you win a cup. Mr. Miller, uh, you came in, and then they had to get the other guy out, right? I'm blanking on the name who got shipped to Carolina. What's the name again? Was it?
DeAndre Miller?
It was another Miller. Okay, good.
Keandre.
It was Keandre and JT. I was mushing it in my head. Too many Millers for me. All right, let's get to the 6th pick. The one that I brought the man on the podcast from the simulator lands to the virtual lands to make this pick. We have the 6th pick on behalf of Calgary. We have Mr. John Hamgray making the pick. You're on the clock.
Like Buffalo and the Rangers beforehand, I was thinking I could get Vigo at this pick. I think it must be highly touted for everybody, knowing that they just traded for Nemec to kind of fill that defensive role and kind of round out their top six. That was being there, their kind of forward replacement to kind of fill the cupboards there. With that said, Calgary takes from North Dakota Keaton Verhoff, the Canadian boy, the big Canadian boy, 6'4", 210. He can complement the. They got the elite talent in Parekh to score the goals in the back end. So somebody to step in and maybe play a little more responsibly defensively.
Fill the size requirement. 6'4", I got 210 as well. Fort Saskatchewan boy, right shot. I don't know do you know what Parekh is? What shot he is? Is he the lefty?
He's a right shot too.
Oh, both righties. Okay.
And Nemec is also a right shot, so lots of right shots in Calgary.
Wow. Isn't the right shot harder to fill than the left shot?
Yeah.
That's stacked on the right side now. Yeah.
Exactly.
Hey, thank you, Mr. John Hamgray. I appreciate you making the pick on behalf of the Calgary Flames, because now we slot down. We have the 7th pick who got traded down, and we have Mr. Elijah Armbruster on behalf of the Seattle Kraken. You're on the clock.
On behalf of the Seattle Kraken, we'll be keeping our streak, I believe this is true at least, of never selecting a D-man in the first round.
Ooh.
We are picking Nikita Klepov, I believe is how you pronounce his name. The right winger from the OHL. He put up 97 points last year. He's got elite goal scoring instincts, quick hands. He's good one-on-one. 3 main comparisons that I've kind of seen are like DeBrincat, Konecny, and like Kucherov. So Simeon might like that at least. But yeah, that's our pick.
Off the board pick, Felice. I didn't have that one in my bingo card for in this part of the draft. On what I'm using, he slotted in 18. So you got the stat trick to bring up, but Felice, you're double dipping because we're doing snake draft style. So that we have number 7 locked in for Seattle. Now we
need a forward.
Yeah, we got 8. And now the big reveal also, Felice, Mr. Elijah Armbruster. You are also picking for none other than the 204 extension code for Winnipeg at number 8. Oh, there we go. There's the reveal. There's the classic logo. All right.
Yes.
YouTube, loving it.
Okay, so
You're on
for the Winnipeg Jets, we're really looking at 2 options here. We're looking at either some wingers or some D-man. My first pick, I can't lie, I was hoping Verhoff was gonna drop down, but I'm gonna go with Daxon Rudolph. Ooh. I think he fits exactly what the Jets like. Nice point guy on the back end. He put up 78 points last year in the OHL as a defenseman. So that's a pretty nuts stat. Big right shot. Or wait, is he right-handed? Wait,
yeah, he is.
Yeah, he's right-handed. Yeah,
you got
shot.
it. We got lots of righties in the chat. We got lots of righties.
No, that's all I gotta say about him.
Hey, I'm gonna throw this around the horn quickly. I got coming up next. Pete, you're gonna be picking on behalf of San Jose. We'll get that ready. If you were to pick between Rudolph or actual Manitoba boy from Cypress River was on the board, would anybody go Carson Carrolls?
Oh, I would. I'd go Carson Carrolls all day long, all day.
Okay. I'm mushing you a little, Felice. I'm mushing
Me too. He's top 5.
Dang.
Yeah. No, Carol's was somebody that I was looking at that was also on the board as a D. It just depends. He's a lefty versus a righty.
You know what? I actually think I mushed myself. I saw him on the board I'm looking at. He's number 3. I didn't think he was going to drop this low, to be honest.
We can completely cut this out.
Oh no, the
Oh,
He
Sharks
was just
are
about
the
to pick
no,
him.
Sharks
we
are
got to
just
keep
too
that.
excited.
But you know what? That would perfectly fit the Jets like picking routine.
Missing
you know?
on the Manitoba guy, just
Didn't
we
even
know
know
what?
he was available.
Seth Jarvis with Cole Peretti.
Completely
Yeah,
missed that.
totally.
You know what? I didn't even look at the top three because I was like, I'm not getting any of those guys.
Yeah,
Completely
I have
mushed.
him on my
Oh,
board.
Elijah, that's too good. That's too good.
That's a mush right there.
We're keeping it. We're keeping
Yeah, we're
it.
keeping that. We gotta
Flip
keep
it.
that.
Okay. All right. Winnipeg's off the board. They've picked Daxton Rudolph from Prince Albert, and he's locked in. Now back to you, Pete, on behalf of the San Jose Sharks with the 9th selection that they got in the Eklund trade.
Yeah, so I mean the Jets, I think they'd like a center, but I don't think a center is going to be the best player available here. I think they would have been happy with Verhoff. I think they would have been really happy with Rudolph.
Yeah.
But because of the way this has played out, I think, and sorry, I think I said the Jets, but
No, I know.
Yeah, but as far as the Sharks go, the Sharks are if they're running to the podium for Stenberg at 2, they are like Donovan Bailey, Atlanta Olympics, like 9.84. Like they are sprinting to the podium to get Carson Carrolls at 9. Like to get Stenberg, like maybe a top line winger with good compete, and then to get Carrolls, who, I mean, not saying he'll be a number 1 D man, but a lot of scouts have him as like a 2-3 with a high floor and also a high ceiling. Usually kind of have to choose between those. Like other than being a right shot 6'3", 6'4" guy, like I think he's 6'1", but he's a good skater. He's smart. He apparently has like the highest compete out of these top D-men in the class. He's aggressive. He's got some bite to his game. I think the one thing about him that their scouts aren't totally sure is certainly some guy. I know, like I've heard Cam Robinson. He talks about how he thinks Carrolls has PP1 upside. Most others that I've heard are more like he's going to be PP2, even strength PK. Like he'll be all situations. They're not sure if he's like a 50, 60 point D-man or if he's more like a 40 point D-man who plays, 23 minutes a game. But regardless, at 9, Carson Carrolls is absolutely the pick. I don't think he'll go anywhere near this in the real draft on Friday. I think he's going top 5 or 6 in the draft. He could even go higher than that, honestly. If Buffalo keeps that pick, I know they probably would take Reed, but it wouldn't shock me if they were considering Carrolls too. So I think he's absolutely the pick here. Yeah,
that's a fun one with Donovan Bailey. I was also thinking about Ben Johnson, the cheetah. So
remember they split the difference, 200 meter versus 100, and they did a 150, and he pulled up. Are we talking about the same guys?
Yeah.
Michael Lewis, Donovan Bailey. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one. All right. Let's move it along. That's crazy. The way this draft is shaken out. San Jose getting Carrolls and Stenberg. Okay. Anyway, I can't stay there too long because my heart would hurt for the Jets. Let's move on to a team that nobody really cares about except their Southeast insider and his 91 name bar affiliation. But bugging you, Simeon, I had to. You're representing the 10th pick from Nashville. You're on the clock.
All right. Yeah, I feel like so far this draft's been validating. I feel like the guys that I was like, I think they'd go higher in my opinion, are going higher than the lists I've been seeing, which means a lot of the guys I've been looking at as steals, or not even steals, but just as like picks around this range, have gotten taken. But there is one guy left, and I think he's a great team fit for the Nashville Predators. Well, there's 2 guys. Wyatt Cullen is a good option. I decided to go with instead Ryan Lynn. And here's why. Okay. I think I've been hearing he has a really great transition game, and I think the Nashville Predators are just a team that struggles to get momentum, struggles to get in the O zone because they don't have that speed really. They're a bunch of older guys, and like once they're set up, they're a solid team. They got Stammer on the power play. They're a team that you want to have set up in the zone, but you need some transition play to get there, and you need transition play to get out of your zone. So Ryan Lynn, right-handed D, which is something that's been attractive to a lot of scouts I've been hearing. And looking at his numbers in the USHL, 53 games played, 13 goals, 43 assists, 57 points, very respectable numbers. Comparing to even like a guy like Carcels, who is in the WHL, putting up slightly more points, but different leagues, different
Ryan Lynn a
difficulty
Vancouver
levels.
Giant? Sorry to interrupt you there. I think
Yeah,
Ryan Lynn plays with Vancouver
Can
Giants.
confirm, yeah, Vancouver
Yeah,
Giants.
yeah. Anything specific about the Vancouver Giants, or just
Well, just like they're in the dub, right?
fun
Not
fact.
the USHL.
Yeah. Yeah, and if memory serves me right, Nashville got Brady Martin,
Oh, okay.
the Ontario Menno boy last year, if memory serves me right. He was
At
on
the
the farm
He was at
digging.
the farm. Love it.
Farm boy.
Shoot.
Yeah. Didn't even go to the draft. He was just
No.
working.
Shoot, I mushed that then. Yeah, okay, sorry, WHL. But so in a similar league, or in the same league, putting up still respectable numbers, and also being kind of seen as a good D guy. Like his defense is quite decent too. So, yeah, I think that the Predators are happy with that pick.
I like it. That's
Love that pick. Love that pick.
So I like the transition assessment from the southeast corridor that you represent there, Simeon. I think you're spot on with some of that with the Nashville game. Little bit of a reach with the board that I got where he's more at 16. So that's a few slots up. Nothing bad about that. Now we're moving from 10 to 11. And so picking on behalf of the St. Louis Blues at this pick, Luke, you're now Alex Steen, which former thread connection to Brado. Just had to keep you into it, Brado, because I know you got the number 1 pick and you're just chilling now. You got your guy.
I'm pumped.
Picking on behalf of Steen, Luke.
Yeah, so I was either taking Wyatt Collin or Lynn there. So I guess Collin's my pick here. I really like the player. He's got some big offensive potential, great vision, great skater. Um, Not saying like as a player comp, he is Marty Necas, but I've seen that a lot as like a similar style he plays, just super fast player, quick attack offense. He's going to beat you one on one. But yeah, had a pretty good year with the U.S. National team. He had 45 points in 40 games. World Juniors, he had 9 points in 5 games, and just shout out to his double A bantam year. He had 68 goals, 98 assists, 166 points in 60 games. So thought that was kind of a fun stat that popped out. So
Luke, I love this. I got that on in my tools is actually an old tool. I got the magazine going for everybody that this is gonna get mush with my green screen, but that's what I got the hockey news.
yeah,
He played just across the border from our 204 extension code in Moorhead, just right
Nice.
across the border. So
Fargo Moorhead, eh?
have to respect the name. Not Fargo, Moorhead. They're separated by the Red River that separates many different cultures. We'll just put it that way.
Matt NHL bloodlines there too. Matt Collins' dad.
Matt
Yeah.
Cullen, who played in the show for a while, won it with
Yeah, quite a
Pittsburgh
while.
on that.
Carolina too in 06.
Yeah, he was the oldest cup-winning player, if memory serves me right. He might, I believe he was 41. He's in that top threshold. Never mind, Chelios, I think, got that. I think
No, I think you could be right actually. Chelios, I don't think. Well, maybe yeah. He went 0-2 with Detroit. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They're up there. He's up there. He's up there.
He's up there, and if he has any kind of career connected with that bloodline,
Totally.
you're happy about that in St. Louis for sure.
Apparently, Cullen, when he joined the NTDP, he was 5'5". He is now 6'1".
He
So
grew
he's-
6 inches in the last year, Pete?
No, he grew 8 inches.
Oh, my math. That's right.
8 inches.
Much math from the teacher.
Hey, I don't teach the imperial system, guys. Okay, let's just make that clear. If you put in metric, that's a lot easier.
Metric. But yeah, 8 inches in a short time and still productive. Like he could go real high, especially with the absence of many like high end forwards in this draft in the early picks.
Yeah. Just
Yeah,
to touch on that, Chris Chelios was 46.
yeah, he's got that. Yeah,
Yeah, I think he's got it sewn up. Yeah.
yeah. The Greek god himself in
Sauna bike ride, hey?
sauna bike riding with a garbage bag over his torso to make sure that he sweats all of his toxins. What a guy! What a guy!
What a guy! Legend.
Oh wow, Luke. Okay, that was I like that pick. I'm liking the assessments, and now I'm feeling the pressure because I traded out of the one spot. So Bradenson, chill. I got his pick after my pick at 12. So I'm doing double duty here. But first, I got 12th. I'm picking on behalf of the New Jersey Devils. And who's the new the new GM?
Sunny. It's Sunny.
Yeah.
Sunny Meta.
Sunny Meta. I like the new minds that are coming into the chat in the hockey world. It's not just the old boys club anymore. If you could think, you can manage. And can I think about this pick? I don't know. I'm going to be going with the threads that I've been very involved in. And the boys from the Tuesday night hockey lands will know we're going Latvia on this one.
Oh.
And he's still on the board. I couldn't believe this, you guys. But as a little bit of a replacement for John's Nemec getting shipped out from New Jersey, they're picking Alberts Schmitz. So I'm going to be picking Schmitzy, the Latvian D-man who was top tier at the tournament that I was following with the World Men's Championship as an 18-year-old. He was playing big minutes. He also, with Ukraine Liga, was playing like men's hockey. Like he was in the top league. And so he has a ready frame at 6'3", 205 pounds. And he's top 10, and he's now slid outside the top 10. So if I'm New Jersey, I'm picking that guy. Yeah, the Latvian Eagle, I'm going to call him on the blue line, just with the big wingspan. So that's locked in for number 12. 13, I get to represent the other New York team. And for this pick, I'm going with somebody who's still on my board that I had a little bit higher, and he was ranked quite high, and there's been a lot of guys that kind of jumped, but I don't think you should sleep on him, is Tynan Lawrence. I like adding a little bit more forward depth. I think with what I did New Jersey, now I'm on New York. I'm getting mushed in the New York lands right now in the brain. But with what New York is trying to do, I think adding a little bit more up front with what they already got on the back with Matthew Schaefer and company. And he was at BU this past year. And to give you a little bit of his stat trick, he had a little bit of injury concerns. He only played 18 games, but I don't think you should sleep on him as a center in this draft. That's a big capital that I think would go well with what New York Islanders are doing, and he could be a little sheltered behind Shen and company. That's it for me from 12-13. We're back to you, Pete, at number 14 with CBJ Columbus. You're on the clock.
And I think if Lawrence made it there in the real draft, I think Columbus would be pretty interested at 14 because they could definitely use a bit more. You know, Charlie Coyle and Sean Monahan won't be playing center forever in their mid-30s. They do obviously have Fantilli, but could definitely use a guy behind him. But regardless, he's gone. So I think at this point, based on our board, they're kind of looking at probably if you're looking just best player available. I think they're looking between like Malte Gustafsson, who's a big Swedish D-man who was real good at the under 18s. He doesn't project to be like a high-end offensive guy, but apparently he's got a little offense and he's very good defensively. I think I saw comparisons to Matthias Ekholm, longtime Nashville guy, been in Edmonton for a few years now. So not that he'll necessarily be that because Ekholm was, at his peak was a real good player, but that style of player at least and that size profile.
6'4" profile
Yeah.
already on the kid.
And a riser. Like, it sounds like he's going to go high on Friday. So he'd be an option. But I think they do have a bit of D back there. I mean, certainly the 204 Denton Matejchuk is a real good player there, lefty.
Yeah.
So they've got it. I mean, I guess Wereski kind of depends what happens with him. But they've got a bit of D over there. So I think for this pick, I'm going to go with the hulking winger, power forward profile. Ethan, and I don't know actually if it's Belkets or Belchets, but Ethan, he's an OHL guy. I think he had 34 goals this year. What I kind of heard the book on him, like he's like a Tom Wilson build. He's not as mean as Tom Wilson, but he can play that style a bit. He can also score. Scores a lot more than Tom Wilson did at the same age. So you kind of say like maybe a little more skilled than obviously Wilson developed into a really good NHL player, but like at the time at the draft, Wilson was kind of like, he's going to be a third liner, really tough. He's going to hurt people, which he of course has done that. But Belchets, I think, he's, whether he really has the offense of like a top 6 guy at the next level is kind of, the jury's out on that. But he's very polarizing because some people love him. Other people are like, I don't really see it. I also don't know if he's really mean enough to take advantage of his size. And other people are like, he's the only true power forward potential guy in this whole draft. So I'd bet he'll probably go a little higher than this on Friday. But
looking at that 6'5" frame, I agree with you.
Yeah,
somebody's going to want that size.
And he's not a bad skater either. So like the tool, like if you're looking at a guy based on tools, like his tools are unbelievable. But at the same point, like, he's kind of like the anti-Ryan Lynn. Like Ryan Lynn is like transition monster, like skilled, smart defenseman. Like same Vigo Bjork, I guess, is the anti-Belches because he's the tiny, amazing hockey sense guy. And this is the opposite. This is just a guy he's gonna play at like 6'4", 6'5", like 230 easily, but he can still move out there and he's got pretty good hands. So you look at that and you think like, what could this guy be if he achieves his peak? But he could also just be like a 14 goal scorer who kind of like isn't amazing defensively. So that's the draft in a nutshell, right? So, but anyway, we're taking the chance on him. That's the pick for Columbus.
Columbus, I like it. Another comp from the Hockey News, a Gabriel Velarde type game getting in the mixer, which I think he's got more. He's got a bigger build than Gabriel Velarde. I think the Tom Wilson comparison's a little bit more, but somewhere in between those with the offensive production.
Yeah. I kind of like in between those two comps.
Yeah. No. Thank you, Hockey News. Big tool credit on this podcast, and that's number 14. Now we're going to number 15. Back to St. Louis with you, Luke, on behalf of Alex Steed and Company. St. Louis has so many picks in this first round. Back to you.
Yeah, so we're going to have a little bit of fun with this one. We're going to take Liam Ruck. He is playing with the Mad Hat Tigers last couple of years in the dub. This guy's just a pure goal scorer, 45 tucks this year, 100 points. Doesn't need a lot of space to get the shot off. He's got a really quick release and can kind of launch from everywhere, but we're going Liam Ruck, 15th overall.
15th overall, Liam Ruck. That's locked in. And now, Simeon, you could play off of this one. we
better leave the twin.
We got Liam Ruck and we got his brother Marcus, who's slotted a little further down. But no pressure, Simeon. You're on the clock again. St. Louis getting this pick in the Jordan Kyrou deal. So St. Louis is back to back. You're on the clock, Simeon.
I absolutely could play off this pick. Now, the question is, should I do something even funnier and not have the Twins together and split them up? No, I don't think so. I think I'll go with Marcus Rutt for 16th overall for the Blues. The new Sedin Twins guaranteed. I think that's what all the prospects were, or that's what all the scouts were saying these guys' comps were. So yeah, I'm seeing it right now. St. Louis Blues, forget having all these other picks in the first round. They don't care. They care about having the terrible Ruck Twins.
They're going to create some ruckus. They're going to create some ruckus.
On the ruckus line, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be
Oh,
beautiful.
that's awesome. That's awesome. Thanks for playing off with Simeon. That could happen. Nobody knows yet, but with those back-to-backers, that could definitely play out. This is fun. This is
Yeah.
fun.
Me and Simbear might have had a couple chats going once the draft board got released. So
That's awesome. That's awesome. Hey,
policy.
I wasn't the only one on the phones. I love it, boys. I love it. And we're gonna end it for this section. We're not gonna dabble too much. It seems fitting that we end in the mush middle of the draft, being the podcast that we are, and with the last pick in our mock draft is going to be going to Elijah, and you're picking it on behalf of the Los Angeles Kings and Company. You're Mr. Holland. You're on the clock.
All right, so for the 17th overall pick by the LA Kings, we're going to be picking Oscar Hemming. He's a left winger. He's coming out of college. Actually, the youngest player ever to play in college. He is 17, but he's got a big, like 6'4" frame. He's got potential to become good power forward in a few years. His pace of play is definitely a bit of a concern, but it's kind of hard to know where this guy might go. He could either be a great pick, could be a bad pick, but we'll see how he turns out in a few years.
Mush middle pick. You never know what you're gonna get, but with a 6'4" frame and trying to replace Anze Kopitar, he's a winger. He's not gonna be the incumbent, so to speak. But that's a nice pick. Big finish frame, and that's it. Seems fitting, boys, that we finish our little mock draft with a Finnish player. So thanks for doing that for me, Felice. Not Swedish like Luke's pick. We're doing the Finnish. So we're gonna take a little break. That was a lot. I'm excited to on the other side. We got some concluding thoughts and maybe some side thoughts. Thanks for buckling up for that one. That was fun. All right, that's the first round done into the mush middle, and then we'll see how the rest plays out. I'm excited for draft day. I'm very excited, and I'm actually really excited for this concluding thought segment because we got some fun side thoughts and some drafts, some not. But first of all, big announcement in the hockey chat from the Hall of Fame committee. Saw the call with Patrice Bergeron trying to act surprised that he got the call to the Hall of Fame. Come on, Patrice, you're a first time ballot Hall of Famer. Like, don't act surprised. And yeah, maybe the cultural connection with Patrice, he didn't show a lot of emotion on that one. But Simeon, I got one of the Hall of Famers. I want to throw it over to you with some of that news.
So, big news. Patrice Bergeron, obviously the biggest name of the class, but some other big names there. Anyone growing up watching hockey in the 2010s will remember Carey Price and his dominance in the middle of that decade. So,
Yeah.
yeah, a name that's definitely worthy of the Hall of Fame. Keith Tuch, as much as the Chucks are not the most loved name here in Canada these days. Just a really solid career in his own right. And yeah, I remember looking at I don't have the numbers with me right now, but I remember when I looked at the fact that he was inducted and I looked at his stat line, I was like, man, this guy had like, I'm surprised, how did this guy not get in already? And now he's got the name recognition on top of that from his sons kind of
Yeah.
keeping his name going for the next generation too. Like,
100%.
so I'm just shocked that he wasn't in there already. Uh, other one that there was one other like main selection from the players side of thing, and that's Pekka Rinne, who I will just like I have my takes on this show, and when I have my takes, I sometimes just you know I don't really bring a lot of nuance to it, but like he should not be in the Hall of Fame.
It's not a Hall of Famer.
I no,
Totally
I
agree.
remember
Totally agree.
I remember his seasons when he was good, and he was a great goalie. Don't get me wrong, but like I feel like there's a trend recently with like like goalies that were good, but like not like like the kind of generational, not even generational, but superstar kind of level player that you expect for the Hall of Fame, and they're getting in.
Simeon, I'm gonna butt into this one because I got a hot tot with this one. Does anybody remember in the playoffs when they would just yank him because he couldn't handle it? Like there
Yep.
was just so
Yeah,
many times in
Game
Nashville
7.
runs he was so hot or cold. And for me, that is not a Hall of Famer when you can't be counted on in that. They had that run to the finals for that one against, I believe it was Pittsburgh,
Yeah,
maybe.
2017. Yeah.
mm-hmm.
But even him on that run was shaky. Like I don't know. And Brado, maybe I'll throw this over to you and your threads. But the fact that a guy like Pekka Rinne gets in and not Curtis Joseph, and a guy that I grew up watching and trying to emulate his glove saves and the iconic mask. And
Yeah.
he left Toronto and he had a couple stops where like he kept a good thing going. And he anyway, I don't know, Brain, like come on, you got to enter the chat on this one. Cujo was top tier goalie, even though he didn't win.
Yeah, I mean he was one of the most popular guys that people followed. Like I know Renee would have been, but like not nearly to the same degree. But him starting in St. Louis and Toronto and just
Edmonton.
Yeah,
making team
he had an Edmonton
goods.
stop. Yeah,
Edmonton. Yep. So yeah, that there's no way Renee should be over Cujo, but hey, I don't make the decision, so is what it is.
yeah. I just wanted to get your take because being a boy in the 90s, early 2000s, Hockey Night
Oh,
Canada on the tube, watching with my grandfather, who his only choice was to pick the Leafs or the Canadians, and he
yeah.
lived in an Anglophone community. Um, Cujo is who you followed as the keeper, right? But Simeon, I had too much hot tot with that. I'll let you continue. Pardon my my hot tot take. So
Yeah, I mean, and to finish off with a couple snubs before I get into the last couple inductees there, because I think like a guy like Zetterberg, for example, um, that's a career that with the cups that Detroit won, um, and him being such a big part of that team. Yeah, I think he's a guy who should be in the Hall of Fame. Even a guy like Getzlaf, he's definitely a bubble case, but I would pick him over Rene as well. Um, anyways, so that's my thoughts on that. There's just yeah, and Rod Brindamore, is he not in the Hall of Fame yet?
He sure isn't. No.
Nope.
Yeah, I think that's the other one that I was like, well, this would have been such a fitting year to induct him, but
Yeah. Yeah.
I actually
oh well.
I have a hot take on that one. I don't think Brendamore is a Hall of Fame candidate.
What?
No,
Really?
Okay.
no, he's won one Selkie, and if you look at his game, like he won one Stanley Cup, and he has one
Yeah.
Selkie. He was a good player. Like he was pretty good. Like
What about
like
the angle of like player and coach though when you add them
He had
together?
over 1,000 points.
Yeah.
give him a
Yeah.
give him a couple more years, and then put him in as a builder. How many?
Yeah.
He has 1,000
Yeah.
points.
He has like 1,200 points, I think.
Yeah, 1,182.
Did he have one Selkie or two Selkies? I
I
thought he
think
had two.
like for me, it comes down
Got two
to
Selkies.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
okay, maybe you could
So
convince me if you
two
went one
Selkies,
more.
1,200 points.
He-
Low scoring era.
You're just
Yeah.
jealous of his bod, James. Let's be
Totally.
real.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I don't know. I don't know. I just don't see the dominance there. Like he was a good like defensive guy, but if you're really picking a guy for a Selkie, like a guy like Bergeron is actually a guy that has stacked that. I don't know.
Can
I
just Bergeron?
didn't think that Brenda Moore was this was the time yet, but you
I
could give
just quick Bergeron. Sorry, I just heard the wild stat. I didn't know this till today. Bergeron won 6 Selkies, right? It's like they should basically name the trophy after him.
Yeah.
Apparently, he was a finalist 12 times. 12 times for the Selkie. Like, can you think of a player that was up 12 times for any award ever? Like, I mean, Gretzky maybe, but like, that's
yeah.
unbelievable.
For a voted on award and not just based on points like an Art
Yeah.
Ross or like
Yeah,
a Rocket
exactly.
Richard and like what what Ovechkin would have been, like discrediting those ones. That's a crazy stat, Pete.
He played
Like,
he played 19 seasons and was nominated 12 times.
It's
So
unbelievable.
crazy.
yeah.
Yeah.
But like, I'm gonna actually double down on this because yeah, am I maybe jealous? I'll leave that for everybody to inference. But is the threshold just playing 1,000 games and getting 1,000 points and that like is Rod Brendamore elite? Or do we just let people that are good and that are just consistent make the Hockey Hall of Fame?
I mean, I didn't grow up watching him play, so you know what? I was looking at the stats lines. He's got the good stat lines, but I'll leave it to the people who actually saw him play
Yeah.
to answer that one. But definitely is a really solid candidate, and there's a case there with the Selkies and everything, and the cup, of course, and that he's continued his career beyond just being a player. Versus again, a guy like Rene, like I
Yeah.
don't see a
Yeah.
case.
And maybe like I'm just doubling down because I want to create something to talk about and we should probably move on. But I just wonder where the bar is. Like I'm about to go and travel to the Hockey Hall of Fame with my son. We're planning a trip this summer.
Nice.
I'm looking
Nice.
forward to it. I went with my dad and my grandfather as a really special pilgrimage. And for me, it's like in order to get into that place, I feel like you really got to be elite. And I don't know where that like I'm not a voter. I didn't play professional hockey. Who am I? I'm just a teacher or whatever. But what is the bar of actually like what is elite and to get in? And I feel like the bar lowered not that long ago with a guy like Guy Carbonneau getting in. He was great defensively and he was kind of the like he was the lockdown guy. But I just wonder where that level is, and I'll rest my
Kevin
case. Get off
Kevin
my
Lowe too.
soapbox. What's that?
Kevin Lowe too. I mean,
Come on. Sorry.
like Hall of Very Good or Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
in my mind, it should be very good, and you should be elite. You should be the best of the best. And
Yeah.
sorry, two Selkies. Even I said it was one. I would miss, but just like even like two. I don't know. I got to get off this. We should keep the tots moving.
Okay, before we move on, I should list the rest of the
Yeah.
the Hall of Fame inductees. Um, so we have Curly. Or sorry, I don't know if yeah, Curly. Yeah, that's how you pronounce it. Um, Not a career I watched just because before my time, but she was a member of the inaugural United States IIHF Women's World Championship team in 1990. And get this, in a 5-game tournament, scored 11 goals and 12 assists, which is the tournament record. So, I mean,
1990, that stands.
yeah.
Wow.
So I see the case there. I mean, you can't judge a career based on 5 games. I'm sure her career was much more than that, but just
It's a
11 goals
statement.
and 12 assists in 5 games is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, and then the other one is Burke, who, yeah, 70-year-olds now joining as a builder. I don't know if any of maybe the people who are a little bit older here have
Can
more to
can
say about his
I mean,
contribution.
can
long career, right? Like,
yeah. Can I
yeah,
just say something like
yeah,
under his plaques should say belligerence, truculence, and
totally.
testosterone? Anybody
And
remember? Come on,
and
Brado. You remember his press
I
conference?
Yeah, he always wanted a tough lineup, that's for sure. But no, he stayed in the game. He loved the game. He talked about it. He
made
just
big
had his
moves.
hand in a lot of time. Had some big moves. Yeah,
Like highlights of his career as a GM, you got like
City
bring
and
in
Twins.
Pronger from Edmonton to Anaheim. They win the cup that year, right?
City and Twins before that.
Canadian Twins, obviously getting them at 2 and 3 in the 99 draft.
Yeah.
He's got like those are both great moments for him. Bad moment when he was GM in Toronto, bringing Phil Kessel in from Boston for draft picks that became Tyler Seguin, 2nd overall in 2010, and Dougie Hamilton, I think 9th overall, 8th overall, 9th overall to
yeah,
Boston the next year in 2011. Like, so, and he said at the time, he's like, Phil Kessel is going to be a 50 goal scorer, and then Phil Kessel proceeded to eat many hot dogs and had a good run there, but did not score 50 goals in his career. I love Phil Kessel, so I'm not.
Yeah.
This is not denigrating Phil Kessel. I
No,
love
no,
Phil
no,
Kessel,
no.
but
No.
he obviously wasn't equal value there.
Yeah, the quantity versus quality threshold was not there in that transaction.
Back in the day when they didn't protect picks, that was the issue. Is they should have been like, well, these are top 5, top 10 protected, would have worked out fine. And if they did that, they did not do that back then.
If memory serves me right, I think he was a restricted free agent kind of offer where they had to send a certain amount of picks, but I could be wrong on that one.
And Boston was not afraid to trade stars back then. Joe Thornton, Phil Kessel, Tyler Seguin, Dougie Hamilton. They're like, get out of here. We don't need you. We'll go win a cup without you.
Yeah. And they still win it against Vancouver, right? It's
Totally.
Crazy.
Yeah. Wild.
Thanks, Simeon. Going from Hall of Fame to maybe this is a direct connection segue, but the Hall of Fame goalie that we have been able to witness. I clipped it and shipped it during the Olympics that this was the final stamp that Connor Helle-buzz is on the Mount Rushmore of goalies and is a Hall of Famer with his body of work, and now really trying to build that legacy and lots of Helle-buzz. Luke, what's the latest on the Helle-buzz?
Yeah, first off, just want to point out a monumental moment. I agree with Simber with the Pecorine statement, and that might be the first time we've agreed on something on this show. So
it's a first for everything on the podcast. Number 25 today, boys. Thanks.
Yeah, so stick taps to Simber, but lots of
can't go after me without a shot though. Like at least have to comment on something. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. But lots of Helle-buzz lately. You see kind of teams loading up with some draft capital. You see the Devils maybe as a potential destination. Also Buffalo, be interesting to see what they do. But for me, it's really like a seller's market. And if the Jets are serious about retooling and resetting this thing, now is probably the best chance you're going to have in the next few years to sell with cap going up, bad free agent class. Teams want to make big moves. So if I was Chevy, I'd be getting on the phones. And I know the expected offer, kind of the wish list for Chevy is like a second line center and a second line winger, which kind of really limits your options. Like even if you get draft capital for Helle-buzz and you can turn that draft capital back into those needs, I feel like that opens your doors a lot more for options, but should be interesting. I'll keep scrolling and hopefully some news drops soon, but we'll see.
Yeah, I was really hoping on some other podcasts with a trade package coming from Buffalo. I'm gonna throw this around just for a quick reaction.
Yeah.
I don't think now with what they did with Chicago, though you don't know, but it was a package centering around power and UPL and a pick was coming back. And I don't know, boys.
Even like where my mind goes, like if Bowen Byram's getting you 4th overall, what is Josh Morrissey getting you?
Totally.
Like, 2nd overall plus. Like it's a seller's market. So if you can accumulate all these assets, it'll fast track the rebuild and won't be that off a cliff in a couple years.
I missed the main piece of that trade. I'll list it off. Konsta Helenius, who was the gold medal winning scorer in the World Men's Championship from some of the coverage I was doing.
He's good.
Yeah, being our 2C, locking him in. Owen Power was a piece. And then it was the first round 20th overall at the time and UPL. I think if you trade that Owen Power out of there, because they're not going to trade him now, they're trading Bowen Byram. If you would just do it for Helenius, the 4th overall pick and UPL, would you do that trade, Luke?
All day.
Because you get Bjork. You get Vigo Bjork as your other center.
Even in that spot, like I'd see the Jets just taking Carroll's or Bjork. If they get their homegrown guy at 4.
Yeah, I feel like that would be, and there's a history with Chevy and Yarmo. Just a quick little little overview. I've sent this to a couple other guys. You guys remember the Pierre-Luc Dubois trade?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
Yarmo and Chevy. Do you remember Chevy trading off of Shen and Stanley? And no, that wasn't a cup. That was the big, tall defense. That was Yarmo and Chevy. Let's make it a 3 for Yarmo and Chevy, and let's get this done. That's what I would love to see. And you get to play with your boy Tage, and there is frozen iced ice fish on close by Buffalo in upstate
Yep.
New York.
If we get to draft day and fourth overall, Gary Bettman comes up and says we have a trade to announce, I'm pumped.
Oh, I'll be flipping my lid. No Bucky, no Bucky. Yeah. So, all right, let's keep it rolling. We got some alma mater tots. Brado, to you, big news from a former connection with your threads going over to oil
Yep.
country. You want to take that one?
Mike Babcock. Well, he gets to stay close to home in the prairies and gets to go to cottage country if he needs to. But I mean, starting with the Leafs, when Babcock came in, I mean, it was a big hire, big names, kind of sure things. You had Shanahan. I mean, then you had the off the board with Kyle Dubas coming, but you had a sure thing in Babcock, and he did do a good job. It just was too top heavy or lack bad injuries at bad times. Kind of all of the above. It's hard to win the cup. In the end, it timed out, but I think with Cheka, Sundin, Mike Johnson said Sundin's serious about this, and I believe that. I think it's a new face, different face than Shanahan. He doesn't face any of the pressure. He gets to just work behind the scenes. Sundin does, and I actually think that's a good thing for the Leafs. And so hopefully with Jim Hiller, heard he's more of a player's coach.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
Good reason. I mean, Barry Trotz again says high things about high praise for Jim Hiller, and he's assistant under Babs, and now Babs is the big boys and some ex-Leafers in McDavid and Draisaitl and Hyman, and they said, I mean, Babs is truly him. He just says, come the season, it's Mike Babcock, or it's all 100% on me, or it's not. Yeah. I don't want any wavering, and they want to win. And I guess their conversations about what went wrong in the playoffs in the past, they trust and believe in Babcock in that process. And so we're either going to see a failed experiment or the polar opposite of this year of a team having fun and being united and winning the cup to a team that is just simply winning is the goal, can be had later.
Yeah. Well,
and we'll see if that pans out for them or not.
That's a good one, Brito. I feel like this is what Edmonton was trying to do with Cassidy. Like, there's the guys that you bring in when you're close in your window, and they're the pushers. There's the ones to push you over the edge and get you to glory, so to speak. And Vegas was playing their games. Vegas does what Vegas does. But Babcock is pretty much just Cassidy and rebranded, and a lot more history and a lot more stories of the challenges of the way that Babcock does Babcock. But if he truly, through the investigation, everything is made explicit. The investigation has come away with clearing whatever, and he's been very open and honest about going forward. We'll believe it when we see it, I think a lot of people are saying.
Well, you know what? He had good introspection in one of his interviews, and he said, I think sometimes, like, the message I say clear, but the tone in which I say it makes it murky.
Yeah. I felt that as a teacher. I felt that.
Yeah. And so people misrepresent the tone, especially if you feel like you're in the doghouse with him. Hard to interpret everything that way for sure.
Yeah. Pete, you wanted to get in on that.
I need like, so firstly, I think it was hilarious in the NHL's press release clearing him that like even in a light least favorable to Mr. Babcock was their terminology, like true lawyer speak. Secondly, I feel like you guys you're being incredibly gentle and kind to Mike Babcock, and I'm not sure why. This guy hasn't coached in years. He's an X's and O's guy that has been out of the game coaching like Canadian university hockey. Like this is light years away from the NHL. So like I'm not saying he's forgotten how to coach, but like I wouldn't see him as like a top tier coach the way everyone viewed him 10 plus years ago.
That's fair.
He hasn't won a playoff round since 2012, so
no,
it's been a while.
But Pete, you know who you're arguing with? You're not arguing with me. McDavid and Draisaitl and Hyman. If it wasn't for them,
yeah, it's crazy.
I would be like, this is. Why would you ever consider doing this? Yeah. But if those guys won them, who am I to speak over those guys? So, but that's them. Yeah. Their lives. That's their team. So this isn't me trying to be nice on Mike Babcock.
Fair enough.
This is me saying, okay, best NHL players in the world and a guy who had him as a coach are saying the direction we believe, because there is not a chance the Oilers organization would hire him without them.
Yeah, so, definitely.
Yeah, I will say like Babcock's always been one to treat his stars like generally pretty well. It's usually a lot of those bubble players coming onto the roster.
Mike Commodore,
younger guys.
Frankie Kyrou.
Johan Franzen.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, the mule Johan Franzen got it the worst of anybody.
He was a beauty.
And a good player too. He wasn't a plug. Like
no, he was like your playoff brand digger. He was the original Warren Fogle, Luke, Simeon, Elijah to really like bring it.
Oh, you're doing him dirty saying he's Warren Fogle. He was so much better than Warren Fogle.
Fogle's a legend,
but Fogle's like our legend from what we were watching with the Oilers. I'm trying to get it where like how much we epitomized Warren Fogle of his game, and like he is the like I just remember him on a line with it. I think was he the Holmstrom crew? Him, Holmstrom, and I'm forgetting the other guy.
He was like playing on a top line for a couple of years there in Detroit, like in the playoffs for sure. He was producing, like he was the top goal scorer on their team for a couple of years in the playoffs.
I have to revisit his DB because he was the mule.
Let's pull it up. Like he was,
you're
denigrating. This is like Johan Franz an erasure after he was abused by Mike Babcock. Like
I'm playing Babcock on him. No.
He was frequent with Zetterberg and Datsuk. He often lined up with Zetterberg and
you played with those guys? Then I am really mushing him.
07-08. Right, James. 07-08 playoffs. 13 goals in 16 games. Almost a goal a game.
Yeah.
Next year, 09, they lose to Pittsburgh in the final. 12 goals in 23 games. Year after that, 6 goals in 12 games with 18 points. So he's almost a goal a game one year, 23 points, 23 games, point a game the year after. And then the year after that, he's 18 and 12, point and a half a game. Like 3-year run. I mean, he wasn't like that his whole career. But he's had 4 seasons over 25 goals. I don't know. He didn't have a long career, but but this guy was a playoff, like Fernando Pisani, like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, that's a good comp. Pisani, and then let's also bring it into to update the chat. Let's put him in the Quentin Howden kind of category where it just pops off in the playoffs.
Good call.
Yeah.
Not Warren Fogle. I mushed you, Johan, and you're Swedish, and I may be meant to do that based on your passport. So, Pete, I'm glad that you recalibrated us, and this has been something I've been looking forward to ever since we had you on for a bit of a segment for some Stanley Cup thoughts. And Pete, I'm not going to call you the mush guy, but I remember when you said it felt like it was almost inevitable that the Vegas Golden Knights were going to win the cup. And then it didn't happen. So
happy to be wrong. I was delighted for Nick Ehlers. I'm sure you already covered it, but like that that Ehlers interview with Elliot Friedman afterwards, where he
Oh.
gets emotional. Oh my gosh,
all the feels. We talked
oh
about
my
our
gosh.
Danish
I'm
prince,
sure you
hey?
did.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. And you can
My
say it
favorite
again.
player.
You can say
My
it
favorite
again.
player, and I bought his gloves not that long ago at a Moose game. They're beauties. They feel great.
Yeah, Luke invested in the Threads, so
Oh, Luke. Me and you, buddy.
Yeah, no.
the guy.
Yeah, first it was Patty Laine for me, and then he got shipped, and then it was Ehlers, then he got shipped as well.
Yeah.
Now it's Helle-buzz, and it's not looking good. So
Not
3
looking
for
good.
3.
3 for 3.
Maybe don't choose your next guy because they're about to.
No.
Josh
Gotta pick my
Morrissey's
favorite
my
player
guy
being
now.
like Stanley or
Maybe
something.
whoever we draft this year, maybe he'll stick around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want the Swedapeg rebuild. That's what I want. Even though I like to mush the passports, if we get Vigo and then we got Salmonson and I don't know. Get some Swedepeggers. Let's do it. The Finnipeg rebuild with Hanola and what was it? Vasalainen and Laine. The Finnipeg rebuild didn't work. We got to rebrand. But Pete, to you and the draft story, bring us back because my brain's mushed right now from all the tots.
Yeah. So I mean, 2011 was a crazy year for Jets fans. Obviously, that's the year the team came back. I remember being. This is gonna get long, guys. Sorry in advance.
Buckle up.
I remember being like at slow pitch that night, like hearing the news that they were actually coming back and going out to the Iceplex like right after baseball and playing a pickup game that night. And like I was flying around the ice. I was so excited. I was like a small child, just ready to open their Christmas gift. Anyway,
100%.
fast forward late June, drafts in Minneapolis. So a buddy and me, we drive down. We go to, it's Friday night, of course. We're in the Xcel Energy Center in St. Paul, Minnesota. We get there probably 15 minutes before Scheifele's picked at 7. We thought Couturier was going to go there because he was dropping. They took Scheifele. At the time, we were like a little upset. And obviously, it worked out great in the long run. He's been a great player. Saw some really interesting guys. Like Kypreos was there. I chatted with him briefly. I talked to the late great Don Baisley, Joe Sakic's agent, Timu's agent. Just a lawyer in Winnipeg that managed to become an agent to a few star players back in the day. But the most interesting thing about this that I kind of come back to somewhat often is I managed to I knew a girl whose brother was a Winnipegger, got drafted by the Jets in 2011 late. He was a goalie. Not gonna mention his name. You can look him up.
I think I know the goalie. Yeah.
Yeah, didn't make it, but nice, lovely family. And I went to business school with this girl, his sister. And long story short, she was kind of on my phone because she wanted to text some people back home, and she didn't have data on her phone. So she was going up to the floor where all the guys that got picked go, and they have suites for all these young guys that got picked. And this was day 2, by the way. This isn't day 1, so it's not that Scheifele wasn't in there.
Yeah.
But Lowry was picked that day. Zach Ewen, Brendan Serval. I remember the guys that were drafted that year, talking to their families a little bit. I'm fast forwarding here, but what happened is she just, rather than give me the phone back, she said, "Why don't you just come with us to like the Jets draft room?" Like, okay, like I'll go chat with like Chevy and Claude Noel. Like who am I? Like what they're like, why is this person in here? But I had a pass, so I could be in there.
Let's go.
Or this is all leading, and the thing that I still kind of scratch my head on. I'm not going to out the guy. I actually don't know his name. I haven't looked him up recently, but I was in this draft room and I was, my battery's running real low here, boys. Hoping to get through this before I cut out. I was talking to one of the Jets scouts who was their Russian scout. And I was like so into this draft. I was like doing my own mock draft just because that's what I did. And I remember looking, and like this year, this player who is an NHL star now lit up under 18, set a record. He broke Ovechkin's record for most points at the U18s. He was supposed to go late first. He ended up going late second to the Tampa Bay Lightning. Do you know who this might be? He's he was the MVP of the NHL this year. I said to this scout, I said, "Were you surprised that Kucherov fell?" And he looked at me like quizzically, like, "What do you mean fell?" And I was like, "Well, he was supposed to go like kind of late first, wasn't he?" He's like, "I don't think he fell. I didn't think he was that good." And I was like, "Oh, okay. Like, what do I know? Like, I'm not a scout. I don't know anything about hockey." and I've never forgotten that. And I don't know if it's a coincidence, but the Jets have really not taken any Russian players in the last 15 years. They've taken what, two guys?
Zhilkin is maybe the last guy that.
Well, he's been a naturalized like North American player for quite a while now. Like they took Kraskovsky in 2014, I think, and they took Reshevsky a few years ago, and neither of them are obviously come over and been impactful. But yeah, I just that kind of always sat with me, kind of funny, and I don't know if he's still employed there. I don't know what his work has been like, but like, I don't know if you could really be more wrong on something than I don't think Nikita Kucherov is very good, because he was good before draft day. He said in the U18 record, he obviously has, whether he was going to become Nikita Kucherov, nobody ever knows. But it was clear on that day that he had skill and that he's probably worth like a late first.
I got a piece out here, boys.
Yeah.
Hey, Brado, thanks for picking number one. We appreciate you.
No problem. All right, see you guys.
Just to tie a bow on this, like, it's funny when you look back at drafts. Like, would Detroit have drafted Nick Lidstrom third round had they known he'd be Nick Lidstrom? Obviously not. But like, Tampa actually picked Vlad Nemestikov into the first round, and then Kucherov into the second. Vlad Nemestikov, current Jets 2C, quote unquote, who's he's been a good player, but he's Vlad Nemestikov. So if Tampa really thought he's going to be what he became, obviously you would take him before Vlad Nemestikov. But yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy what happens at the draft, and that'll happen this year too. Some guy like Nikita Klepov's going to go like 35 or something like that crazy, and maybe he'll be, a 40 goal guy. You never know. Maybe he'll be the next Pavel Dorofeyev. You just don't know.
Yeah, that's an interesting. Well, I love the story for one, and whatever. Mush, Russian scout. This is too fun because we love putting down Kucherov on the pod, and so now like you're given too much ammunition for the guy who's playing bottom of our five-man crew here on the ice, puck talk. But the one thing that I want to connect with you, Pete, and going back a little bit in the time machine, like the Jets in the first installment had their Russians, like Zhamnov. You
Sergei
had
Boughton, legendary Sergei Boughton pick, who was not listed with the NHL registry, and they picked him in round 1.
Wow.
Yeah.
And even like going somebody who I don't like the threads and the connection at all, because hurt my heart when I was a Calgary fan, was the Bulin Wall, Nikolai Bulin.
Great Tandy.
And then you had a guy like Oleg Davidovsky that came over to
in the Solani trade.
Yeah.
Chad Kilger and Oleg Davidovsky traded for Teemu Solani.
Yeah, tough look, but we didn't. He didn't get to stay. He wouldn't have stayed here anyway. But
no, he wouldn't.
That's the content that I love with having more connections on the pod here. And Pete, thanks for tying a bow with the draft story. That just seems too fitting. Like bringing it full circle, and then the Kucherov mush.
Not a bad player. Not a bad player.
Yeah.
Fantastic story. Yeah. Really, really good story. Yeah.
Might be a Hall of Famer.
I like the part where you said Kucherov's the best player in the NHL.
I don't. Did I say that? I
think he said MVP.
I think he said MVP of the season.
Yeah. Let's set the record straight. He was MVP this year.
Oh, okay.
You hear what you want to hear. We know in the Southeast, you hear what you want to hear with Stamkos and Kuch. So,
yeah.
Oh, well, boys, we've been running. We've been snapping the puck talk around. This has been absolutely a blast. Thank you to those that have left the chat so far. Thank you, John Hamgray. Thank you to Brado, Mr. Dress Up Takeover Friesen, and thanks for Pete. From all of us at 32 Tots. We'll see you maybe on the other side of the draft with some crazy recap news. Nobody knows, but we're heading into off season. I was working the phones. That was so crazy and fun to do a mock draft. I hope you enjoyed it. And from all of us, thanks for tuning in.